Hello, people. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It's Sunday. I'm joined by Jay. He wants to give his Fancam reaction to West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. When you say it, it does hurt even more. Jay, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, morning after the night before, isn't it? Probably about the same as everyone else, to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't got a lot of eloquent words. I haven't got a lot of positive words. Just completely unacceptable performance from everyone involved. We were second best in every single department. We didn't look like we wanted it. We didn't look like we cared. We didn't look like we had any idea what we were doing. There's a few like poor individual performances that, again, I can't necessarily put down to the individuals because I can't tell how we're trying to win football games. I've got no idea what our actual plan is to win a game. You can talk about like philosophies, you can talk about style of play, you just park all of that, because ultimately, if you've got a way of scoring a goal and winning a football game, then cool. Like, there's no one way to play football. But I can't tell you what our way is to create a chance, let alone score a goal. Like, we look toothless in attack. We look like we got no idea how we defend. Do we play a sort of mid block? Do we play a press? I couldn't tell you. I actually couldn't tell you. Like, watching it, and I'm glad I'm not going insane, because obviously I was at the game, and the first goal was just horrendous. Alvarez just gets skinned, and then I didn't realize how like Mavropanos could have got there, I think, and just didn't come across and cover him. Because I've just watched it back on Match of the Day as well, and didn't realize Mavropanos just jogs back. Wan-Bissaka just jogs back. Kilman is obviously the other side, so if Mavropanos doesn't go, he's not going to go. So the first goal is completely avoidable, and the second and third goals were just carbon copies, just a simple ball through counter attack, and we had nothing to say to it. And by the time we were 20 minutes into the game, we were dead, and I don't think anyone saw us like even getting close to getting back in a game. So, mate, I'm just baffled, absolutely baffled as to what that performance was. And again, to round off my sort of like overall thoughts, I can accept losing games of football, and I am you know me, I'm all for, we've got to try and be patient, we've got to try and get behind what this vision is. Mate, I can't see the vision. We've gone backwards. Like we've actually regressed in our first 5 games. I thought at least we weren't happy watching the style of football when we beat Palace. We weren't happy with the way that we went about it, but we beat Palace and we kept a clean sheet. So ultimately, we got the lineup we wanted, but there was just no distinct patterns of play. There was no distinct method to our attack or defending, and we looked like boys against men in there. So yeah, disappointing, mate.
Let's break it down. Obviously, the lineup. Was you happy with the lineup, Jay? Yes or no?
Yeah. I was happy with the lineup. When you look at what the lineup should have been, it should have been a 4-2-3-1. We should have pushed Lucas Paqueta up behind Jared Bowen, and we should have gone at them. Really, because they are not a team that are as good as Manchester City. Whereas we actually played tactically as if they were Manchester City. It looked to me, like, having looked at it back again, it's almost like the scouting department and whoever prepares the opposition's tactical report or whatever had a week off and just went, let's just do what we did against City, and that'll work. And we treated Nicholas Jackson like he was prime Ronaldo. And he turned into prime Ronaldo because we basically told him, you're really good, mate. We're going to stick our number 6 just in your pocket. And he just didn't have an answer for him. It dragged everything out of position. The midfield was completely disjointed. When we decided to push on and press, Cole Palmer's just in acres of space. He's the one that we should have been man marking. He was the danger man in all of their attacks. And he's just stood there with no one near him every single time. Every time they counter, they go straight through the midfield. And every time they get the ball and we try and press, he was standing there with no one near him. So we half-assed press, which I've talked about before. It doesn't make sense. Either all press or no one press. It's as simple as that. But we left Cole Palmer in acres of space. And he looked like he didn't break a sweat in that game. He just kept picking the ball up, kept spraying it about, got his goal, could have had a couple more. Like, it was just easy. It was so easy. So the lineup I was fine with, but the tactics were just totally wrong.
See, I agree with what Lucas said yesterday. It's the easiest game Chelsea's going to have all season.
Yeah.
Literally, easiest game. They didn't. Let's be honest. What did they really do other than score? Like, there's nothing really else there. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
I agree with the lineup. Rodriguez in the middle of the park getting subbed after 35 minutes. Is this a major like sod up by Lopetegui to a point to keep playing Rodriguez and Alvarez together? Two very slow players.
I think so. Mate, it clearly doesn't work. There are games where it will work. As I've said before, like you have to look at this as horses for courses, and you have to be able to. We've built a big enough squad now where we're actually fortunate enough to go right. I actually think this combination of midfield will be right for this opponent. I actually think this combination of players will be able to break them down. That's what the scouting department's there for, realistically. Not to just go, let's just chuck the two sixes in together and let's just see if they can break play up, because they didn't have a way of doing it. So I think it is wrong, and we have to now look at. And there are areas of the fan base that don't like this as a concept, but we have to be looking at how do we get more attacking players in the middle, because we can't create a chance. What are we, second bottom or maybe even bottom for chance creation? So like that tells you the style isn't working. If we're going to low block, we then play those two, sit off, low block and try and counter. But we aren't doing that, are we? So for me, we have to look at a way. Is there a way of playing Alvarez, Paqueta, and then Kudus in the 10? Because you look at how we played for Jared Bowen for his sake yesterday. He was just isolated. Like he's not going to pull a chance out of his arse. Like he can't just create it. He was completely isolated. I didn't think he had a great game, but it wasn't his fault. Like again, it's the curse of playing centre forward for West Ham. If we don't have the right personnel around him, what do you want him to do? The personnel that were around him, Somerville and Kudus, who actually looked like they were trying to create stuff. Somerville I thought was brilliant. He gets hooked after 50 something minutes. Kudus goes on the left, and all of our initial problems are now being like resurfacing themselves. It just made no sense to me.
What did you make of that substitution? Funny you touching on it with Somerville, because there was boos around the ground, basically saying like, "What are you doing?" sort of thing.
They were loud as well, mate. And totally deserved. Totally deserved.
Yeah.
He was the only player on the pitch, I thought, who, when he got the ball, he'd square up his fullback. And I thought in the second half, he looked like he was going to have the beating of him as well. Certainly the way he ended the first half, could have had a penalty as well. He looked like he was starting to get the beating of him. And the fullbacks looked like they were starting to struggle a bit. Cucurella as well. He picked up a booking for a horrendous tackle. And you were looking at it going, all right, we're starting to figure these out now. And then our two most dangerous players, one gets taken off and one gets shifted to a position which we know doesn't work for him. I mean, it was absurd, and he deserved all the boos that he got, because it was just baffling. I've got no other words. I can't try and like rationalize it or contextualize it, because it was just wrong, and he deserved all the criticism he got for it.
What do you make? Obviously, the result was shit. Let's be honest. Like the sooner we sort of forget about that, the better. But the future, what is the future at West Ham, Jay, with Lopetegui? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm nervous with this geezer because I don't think he's got any capabilities of grinding the result out. Like with Moyes before, I'm going to touch on this, and I know people don't like to hear this. Moyes used to be able to grind the result out even if West Ham were playing that bad. I don't see it with Lopetegui. I see a man that is set in his ways of playing this way. He's putting players in weird positions. He's playing a style when we're in possession, we're a 4. When we're out of possession, we're a 3. I think it is, or the other way round. It's just very mixed up. It's like you're trying to do 4 things at once, and instead of just doing the basics right and learning how to defend and how to sort of attack in patterns of play, he's doing neither to a point. So what you're saying about obviously the future, Lopetegui?
I think I've said before, and I'm going to stand by it, that I'm not going to give any overall judgments until we're about 10 to 12 games in. I think we will still be seeing issues like this for the next half dozen games or so, because he's still trying to figure things out. But as I've said before, he's got to learn quicker. Like he seems to be making the same mistakes and reverting back to type every time something goes wrong. You can't just, because we had 45 good minutes against Manchester City, decide to put out the same kind of team that finished that game and think that the same thing's going to happen. That just isn't how football works. Different teams offer different challenges, and you have to be ready for that. So for me, I think I see a lot of criticism now coming in for the transfer window as well. I don't think there's any criticism you can give to the transfer window. We've got the right players. I don't think that there's a problem with the actual squad that we've got. The problem is that they don't have a clue what they're doing. So we've
But
got to actually figure out what style we're playing, and
yeah,
we've actually got to get these players in their best positions, and then we'll start to progress. But like you, I am a bit concerned.
but would you say though that there's not been a midfielder brought in, a ball carrying midfielder, technical midfielder? Like now, if that's Soler, then okay, fair enough. But like when you're playing Rodriguez in there,
Mm,
who is very slow, very can't get around the pitch enough, and we need players with energy. And someone said it to me yesterday, funny enough. I think it was Mitch or Lucas said we get rid of Declan Rice. We haven't really replaced Declan Rice to a point. We haven't got a leader in there. We haven't got anyone with energy in there, and we haven't got anyone who's defensively very good. And basically, like a box to box player. Like
mm.
we need a box to box midfielder, and we haven't got one. We've got an enforcer in Alvarez. We've got a Rodriguez who I don't know what he is. If I'm honest, I thought when we signed Rodriguez, Jay, we had signed a player to come in to replace Alvarez when Alvarez wasn't there. So
Mm.
say basically he's like a backup option. I never thought we had signed a player to come in and partner with him, like two sort of static midfielders. Yeah, and for me, the window is been and gone. Yeah, but I do think the window was overhyped to a point. When you look at John Duran, keep scoring goal after goal for Villa, that does also sort of put the knife in a little bit more, so to speak.
Mm.
With Lopetegui, I am nervous because, as I say, I don't believe he's got any capabilities of grinding a result out. Obviously, now we've got Liverpool coming up on Wednesday night. We've got Brentford the following Saturday, and then we've got Ipswich before another international break. What's he got to do, mate?
So I think the Liverpool game, none of us expect the result there,
Yeah,
but I do like another performance like we saw yesterday will be unacceptable. Like I just want to see a team go out there and actually believe that they can score a goal. But at the moment,
yeah,
it doesn't look like we get into the final third of the opposition, and nobody wants to be that guy who goes, "Give me the ball and I'm going to make something happen." It used to be Lucas Paqueta, but whatever's going on with him, he's absolutely bereft of confidence, and he does not look like he wants to be him. You've got to get Kudus back on the right hand side or central. He looked completely different. This isn't news to us, is it? He looks a completely
mm,
different player when you get him on the right. Again, he mistimed his run, but smashed one in the back of the net, got disallowed. So be it. It's the right signs for what we want to see from those
yeah,
players in those positions. I want to see Tadibo start. And again, I'm not going to dig out Mavropanos. I think that the whole team had no idea what they were doing, but I want to see Tadibo start, and I want to see him get bedded into this lineup now because we've waited too long. We've gone and signed this massively hyped defender who supposedly has the ability to go on and be world class, and he's sitting there watching performances like that on the bench. I need to see him start against Liverpool, and if he has a good game, I need to see him in that first team. It's as simple as that. So, in terms of what we have to see, a much better performance against Liverpool. Don't just roll over and get tickled like we did yesterday. And if we lose, we lose. But as long as we put up a fight, I'm fine with it. At Brentford, we need to get at least a point. It's not a place that we do well, but we need to go
yeah,
there. We need to get at least a point. And then we have to, it says Ipswich after that, isn't it?
yeah,
We've got to turn Ipswich over. We've got to go out and show and just put the fan base at ease. Because again, if we go out there and treat them like they're Man City, they'll turn into Man City. They've got some good footballers. But if we go out there and say, look, we're going to beat you and we're going to play attacking players where they should be playing, and we're going to try and actually play positive football as opposed to whatever the hell we've been doing, then we should
mm.
go and we should beat them comfortably. But at the moment, mate, I've got no confidence in saying that we could get any results because I've got no idea how we actually play football. So
I agree. I agree. I actually think West Ham have to win both games, Brentford and Ipswich, to be this side that we want them to be. I think if you struggle against them, both them sides, then basically we're acting like a mid-table side.
mm,
Honestly, Jay, I can't believe how bad it's actually gone. Really, really bad. Like when I sort of look at the games that we've seen, and yesterday's game was just painful. Like it's just
mm,
painful to see. And what done me more than anything, and I don't know about you, was the lack of energy that the players had. But there was no energy, there was no fight, there's nothing. And if you're going to do that against other sides, they're just going to expose us right
mm.
at the minute. Do you know what I'm saying? Any final words for you, Jay, in regards of yesterday's game before we go?
I haven't really got anything else, mate. Like this is the thing. It's just deflating, isn't it? I think the thing that bugs me the most is Lopetegui talked about passion when he joined the club, and he wanted to bring
Yeah,
passion. That is one of the biggest games that we'll have all season, Chelsea at home, and we've shown no passion and no desire to go and win that game. And that, as far as West Ham fans are concerned, you can lose to Chelsea, fine, that happens. You'll lose against them, but you can't lose in that manner. You can't lose in a way where we just don't look bothered. So if he wants to bring passion, then start bringing it. If he wants to actually win West Ham fans over, we're all pretty sensible. We know we're not going to win every game. If we'd have lost 3-0, but we'd have created a ton of chances, we'd have had a penalty that we didn't get, and we'd have had a goal disallowed, we'd probably been sitting here going, look, it's a hard result to take, but here are the positives. So I need to see some positives. I need to see this supposed passion that he's bringing, and I need to see some results. It's as simple as that.
He needs to liven up, because otherwise, before too long, he's going to be in the firing line. Is there a possibility, Jay, right, that he might not last till Christmas if it goes the way he's going? Because I did see it with the on social media last night. It was hot. Like, people were saying, well, hold on a minute, you've got the players. What you've said on this video, I make you 100% right. We don't know what our style is. We don't know what our system is. We don't know how we're playing. Are we playing like a possession based, long ball based, like counter pressing plays? Well, I don't know what we are. Does he last? Because I honestly believe, Jay, I've got this really strange feeling in the pit of my stomach that he doesn't last at Christmas. Because I think he's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. We're going to keep getting done. And I don't think he's capable of grinding a result out. Like, if we play Ipswich on the 5th of October, I think it is, right? And they come with a low block and they go, right, we're going to hit West Ham on the break. We're going to make it hard work for them. And we struggle to break them down. We then go into an international break, and then we've got Spurs away, right, straight after. If we go to White Hart Lane and get absolutely annihilated in that game, then I'm going to be honest, I can't see it, mate. What you saying on that, mate?
Yeah, I think this is why I'm saying, he has to show us the signs, because like I say, I can stomach having a bumpy start to the season. I can stomach us being at the wrong end of the table to start with, because look, we are playing a new style. We've got a lot of new players. Like, that's going to happen. But for me to be 100% behind the manager long term, I have to be able to be positive about something. I have to be able to say, honestly, with you, I have to be able to sit here and go, look, mate, we lost, but here's what I think was good. There was nothing good about that. There was absolutely no reasons to be positive. The one positive, which was Somerville, got dragged after 55 minutes. So he's proven to us at the moment he's getting it wrong time and time again. I can stomach the bad results, but I can't stomach constant tactical and managerial errors. So to your point, there is a possibility, and a growing possibility, that he doesn't last that long at West Ham. So he's got to show that he is the manager that went unbeaten at Spain, that managed Real Madrid, that won the Europa League with Seville. Because we haven't seen that bloke yet. We've seen this Lopetegui that none of us would have ever imagined. That is just it looks like he's got no idea how to get the best out of these players. So he's got to sharpen up, and he's got to sharpen up quickly.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Jay, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate your thoughts on West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. I'm gutted. Like, it shouldn't be like this. And we're 5-6 games into the season now, and we're still going. Well, we don't know what we are. One thing that we are at the minute is crap. So I think we can all establish that. But let's hope for the best in the week. I'll be back in the week to do more video content with Jay and the boys, building up to Liverpool away. Great, can't wait. So yeah, check us out on there. Anyway, from me to you, take care. Peace.